Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Easton Powerflight review. All right, so 400 and 500 spine. Anything lower than this that I have are not Powerflight, so sorry, can't include them. Anyway, like many of you, I experiment. And I experiment with different shaft cut lengths and so on and so forth. And I'm experimenting with different shaft spines, okay? And I like the 500s, but I like the 400s more. Why? Well, because they're stiffer, they're slightly heavier. The 400s are coming in at around 399 and change, and about 373 and change for the 500. So yeah, a little bit more weight in a 400, but stiffer spine too. And both though are great. Either way, I have no qualms with either one of them. They cost me about $12 a piece, custom cut to my length and with an insert put in and a field tip. I'm paying $12 a piece at my archery shop. And I only recommend dealing with a pro archery shop because at least they know their stuff, okay? But don't let any archery shop tell you what the correct length of arrow is. You need to experiment and learn that for yourself. And I believe that sometimes even learning the hard way is the best way, because it just goes to show that you're not a freaking genius after all. Because a lot of people think they know it all and they don't. Okay, like I'm honest. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not an expert. I've absorbed more info on archery than I care to even think about, and I'm still absorbing more and more of it because I want to, and I need to know, right? And even my own guy at the archery place, okay, it's called the archery place, he's helping me with some of my form issues that I had and how I was dealing with my shot, okay, how I was jumping the trigger, how I was moved the bow when I shot. I got to keep it steady. He helped me with those things to get me on a more correcter path because I was getting a little frustrated with my one bow, which didn't frustrate me before. Then all of a sudden it's frustrating me. Maybe it's because my arm is getting so weak because it's too heavy of a bow. So I bought a bow off of him. I got a new hammer bow. It's made by Matthews. It's a Mission hammer. And it's a lot lighter. It's almost 2 pounds lighter. And it is smaller. It's equally as powerful. Still goes to 70 pounds if I need it to. But I find that bow is really good too. It's just as good as my Stinger, but I have more control over the hammer. And when my bow arm, meaning the arm I hold the bow in, gets even stronger, then I can shoot more often with my Stinger. Right now I'm bouncing between the two. I'm getting comfy with one, doing really good, fire off a couple hundred rounds, no problem, doing good still. All right, put that one down, go grab the Stinger, and now I'm starting to really feel the difference, and I'm like, tomorrow. So I wait till tomorrow and I pick up the Stinger and I'll shoot that for a bunch of rounds, back and forth in them, right? But I'm also playing with different spines. And I've come to the conclusion when it comes to the spine here that spine is an issue. We need to make sure that we have a correct spine for the draw weight, but also we need to also kind of ignore a lot of this stuff on this column over here. Just look at, what is your draw length? 28 inches? Okay. So I'm shooting a compound. This is a compound chart specifically. So I've got a 500 spine, which at the maximum with a 100 grain to 125 grain tip, I should not exceed 41 to 45 pounds. That's a load of malarkey. These arrows will still fire off at 500 spine and group perfectly well at 62 pounds. I know, I've done it, and I've had no issues with the arrows, right? And same as when we go to the 400, right? So I mean, it's a grain of salt. It's a nice idea. It's a pretty colorful chart, and at least they do say la 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 la. Okay, a little disclaimer. But up top, they talk the measurement should be from the throat of the nock to the end of the point. And when they're talking the end of the point, they're talking the end of your field point, okay? That's wrong, okay? Because even Easton will tell you that it's from the throat of the nock to the end where the point goes on. These guys say end of point. So you would literally take that as This is the point right here. So from here to the throat of the nock. You know what? I ignore these guys and I ignore Easton. I just say, you know what? I'm going to go shaft to shaft cut. Okay? So I'm going to measure the shaft. So I'm going to pull this out of the box at my archery place. Okay, when I go there. I'll pull a bunch out actually, because I do it all the time. And I'm going to say, well, let's start the measuring tape here at the shaft. And let's go to where I want it cut at the shaft, which for me, I found for my setups, okay, my setups, I cut 28 and a half inch shaft to shaft, okay, and I'm getting fantastic results, okay. I have tried shorter. I have tried the Easton method. Yeah, I've never tried these guys' method of end to point, but I don't like the other methods. They don't seem to work out as well for me, and I don't feel secure enough shooting from the throat of the nock to the end and calling that 28 inches. I don't like it. So that's me, right? So, hey, everybody's different, right? And some people want to go with, this is the way it is. And it's like, no, that's not the way it is. I mean, there's a preference thing here. I will say this much, that I will totally support and back up all the experts on that are real true blue experts, and you'll know them because they're going to say the exact same phrase to you. Minimum of a half an inch in front of the riser. Okay? An inch if you want to go there. Even an inch and a half is not a killer. No more than that though. But minimum half an inch in front of the riser. Okay? Biggest part of that is a safety concern. Okay? So if your finger accidentally moves up and you're in your bow hand, you're holding your bow, and your finger somehow makes it up a little bit, a broadhead will take your finger off, or at the very least, you're going to need a lot of stitches, okay? It can also cause other issues depending on the rest you're using. Yeah, you can take out your hand. It's a problem. So if you have that half an inch clearance in front, or a little bit more, that is better and safer, okay? Now, as far as the accuracy difference, I mean, I don't see where there's going to be an accuracy difference between a half an inch to an inch and a half. It's going to be fine, and so far it's been working out fine for me either way. I'm just more comfortable having an arrow that has a 28, in my case, 28 inch draw. I feel more comfortable with a 28 and a half inch shaft to shaft. Okay, so if you want to see what that looks like, bear with me, please. Okay, I want to show you where my arrow ends at the bow. So I'm going to grab my stinger for this. And by the way, never ever pull back a bow without an arrow in there. It's not a good thing, because if your release lets go and you dry fire, well, let's just say not all bows are designed to handle even one dry fire. Okay, so this is my arrow here, and we're gonna knock that up, and I gotta give you guys a good view of this so you can see exactly where my arrow actually ends up. That is exactly where my arrow ends up. And that I feel more than safe and secure. Even if my finger comes in front, somehow my finger is safe. Okay? So I'm in no danger of getting nailed by a broadhead. Now the other benefit is I like whisker biscuits because I am in no way danger of my arrow falling out of this rest, even if I do this. Okay? Not many rests can say they can do that, right? So anyways, but that's where I feel comfortable with. And I get actually awesome accuracy with these lengths. I do, okay? I'm also a perfectionist when it comes to shooting guns, shooting bows, how I sight stuff in. I'm a perfectionist. I want it dead. I want my in this case, my dot dead in the middle of the dot of the target. And so when I pull that trigger, and it stays there, okay, as long as everything goes well, then I know that that arrow, providing it's also a great, perfectly straight arrow, and it's concentric all the way through, I know it's going to go right in that bullseye every single time. Okay, now I haven't Robin Hooded with a regular bow yet. I have Robin Hooded though with an air bow many times, but yeah, it's kind of fun. But anyway, I will score these at a 4.5 out of 5 all day long. I have no main issues with the arrows themselves. The quality is there. They will survive a lot of beatings. They hold together great. I've had no bad experiences with these. Okay, I have had two with a little bit of an issue, and I did Noctune one pretty darn good. I could still get it a little bit better. I might work on it. And I got one of these that I have to do some noctuning yet. But other than that, out of all the other multitudes of Easton arrows I have in here in 400 or 500 spine, yeah, they all spin like absolutely dime spot on my spinner. Not one issue with any of them. Now, the only issue I do have with these arrows is not the arrow themselves, it's the nocks. The nocks are fantastic. Okay, they work as they should. They have pliability to them, so winter shooting will not be a big deal. These will not shatter, I don't believe, because they're flexible enough. They should be forgiving enough. Unlike hard plastic, will definitely shatter in the cold temperatures. Okay, because I live in Canada and it gets freaking cold here. And right now it's the summertime and it's bloody hot. Anyways, so it's not that often I even go into the swimming pool 3 times in the same day. I mean, come on, it's getting hot outside. But the only issue I have with these nocks is after, I don't know, I guess about more than 100 shots, I didn't really do a shot count, but eventually they will gull in one side of the nock. Just because you've shot it and shot it and shot it and shot it. Eventually everything breaks down. I'm going to give you a little quick view here of this one here. This is one that's bad, and this is what it does. Like, it should look perfectly smooth like this, right? But it sure the heck doesn't. All right, so this is one arrow where, yup, it's a baddie, and that's going to affect your accuracy all the time. So always keep an eye on your nocks. Now, I don't care if you're running Easton Powerflights or whatever. If you've got this actual nock, which is an Easton nock, at least that's what the internet says. That's what comes with the Easton arrows. Well, Powerflights anyways. But yeah, if you've got this kind of a knock on your Easton arrow, just keep an eye on that, because when they start to gull, your accuracy does go to the toilet bowl. Because that's what clued me on. It's like, the arrow spins fine. Machine says it's good. What the hell? Fletches, they're all good. They're intact. They're not splitting apart. Nothing. And then I checked the knock, and I was like, that's probably the problem. So I put a brand new knock on. Problem solved. 100%. Guaranteed, baby. No problems. So, yeah, you're going to want some extra knocks, especially if you're going to shoot these ones. These are great knocks, but they do have that wear factor to them. I've never had a knock gull on me before other than this style. I've never had any other style on any other arrow brand ever give me a problem, okay? But these ones, for some reason, although they work well, they do have that side effect to them that you do need to keep an eye on them, whether you're shooting these arrows through a traditional bow with feathers on the thing or whatever, or compound. Keep an eye on your knock that it doesn't gull, because once it starts to gull up like that it's done, and so is your accuracy. Anyways, 4.5 out of 5 though, either way. Highly recommend them. To me, this is a budget arrow at $12 Canadian a pop, and that's custom cut and fully assembled, ready to shoot. Okay, I think they're well priced, and they're very, very good quality. Like I said, I only had 2 so far out of God knows how many are in here. There's a lot. Okay, but and I still need more arrows, and I'm still gonna buy more arrows because I need more arrows, and I want to play with other spine sizes too. Check those out and see, you know, how brutal things go or how good they may go. But in the meantime, sorry for the long review. I was hoping to keep this like 5 minutes, but hey, there you go. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.